Hey everyone, Alice here. We talk 2D pretty boys, Otome Gacha gaming, and anything else that might get me in trouble. So today I thought we'd go over Love and DeepSpace Wish and Pity system because it's a lot, and between limited banners, reruns, precise wishes, separate pities, it's very easy to get confused or accidentally waste pulls like I have done before and regretted it. So I wanted to understand just how this system works in the game for myself, so I thought I would put together a little something here that hopefully breaks it down more clearly for everyone. I mean, I'm not claiming to be an expert, but to the best of my knowledge, everything here should be accurate, at least up to now, up to the rerun banners. So whether you're a new player or a returning one, I hope that you find this useful and that we can make the most out of our pulls and get all the pretty boys that we actually want, not the ones that keep showing up over and over again, but we can't help that, but maybe we can try to minimize that a little bit. All right, so let's get started. All right, so we're gonna start with some basics here. So this is like if you're completely new to like gacha games and or Love and DeepSpace, we're just gonna go over some basics of the basics here. So what are wishes? All right, so wishes are used to pull or get memories in the game, the 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star memories. It's like the summoning system of Love and DeepSpace. Now, there are other ways to get memories, but this is probably the way that you're going to use the most. Wishes are the currency that are used. There are different wishes. We'll go over those, and there are different banners. We'll also go over those as well. This is basically what a gacha game is. What makes a gacha game is having this luck-based pulling system, very much like gambling. It is a gamble, but we can try to understand it the best that we can to give ourselves the best shot of not wasting our time and our energy and less stress, hopefully. All right, so if you're completely new to gacha games, here's some common terms that I'll be saying a lot during this video, so just to make sure we're all on the same page here. So wishes, obviously, I just said these are the currency that are used to make your pulls or to summon, whatever you want to call it. Here I'll be referring it to pulls. Some people call it rolls here. It's just when you use your wishes, that's what it's called. Pity is the safety net for how many pulls it takes to guarantee a 5-star. Banners are what you'll be pulling on. There are different types of banners, which I mentioned before. We will go over in great detail. Do not worry about that. The pool is the memories that are available for that current banner. They rotate sometimes they add more, and they change. Like the limited banners will have some memories in there that are there for a limited time only. And then rate up. These usually are the limited memories that are in the banner that have a special rate up, which means you have a higher chance of getting those memories, those 5 stars, once you reach pity, or when you roll for a 5-star. There's a higher chance that it's going to be those particular memories. All right, so let's look at the odds. The odds that Infold gives us for our chances of pulling a 5-star. Yeah, they're not great, and they're never going to be great. So according to Infold, your base chance, every wish that you pull, you have a 1% chance of getting a 5-star, a 7% chance of getting a 4-star, and then the rest is 3 stars. Yep, these are your odds. Also, every 10 pulls, you are guaranteed a 4-star or higher. Okay, so these are probably the main banners that you're going to see most of the time. These are the banners that you're probably going to be pulling on most of the time. So let's go over what are the differences. So X Space Echo is the standard banner. This is the one that is permanently in the game. It's always there. It uses the Empyrean wishes, which I will refer to as standard wishes. They're the blue ones. They're the ones that you get like for free. You get one every week for doing the weeklies. The memories in this pool don't usually change. They stay the same. Sometimes Infold may add memories to the pool, but it's not very frequent. Then we have the limited rate up banners. This is the one where all of the new memories show up. There are a variety of different types of limited banners, which I will go over. These banners use deep space wishes, which I will refer to as limited wishes. They're the yellow ones. They are time sensitive here, and the memories have boosted rates, which means you have a higher chance of getting the new memories versus the old memories. And what are the old memories? They are the pool that is included in the standard banner. Sometimes they differ slightly for some reason, because I've noticed when looking at the standard pool and the limited rate up pool, sometimes some of the 5 stars aren't included in the rate up for some reason. So that's just something that you might want to look at before you start pulling on a banner, but usually it's the same. And then we've got the limited time rerun banner. This is newer. It runs very similar to the limited rate up banner, but these aren't brand new memories. These are memories from before, so you get a second chance at getting anything that you may have missed. They have a special wish, the time wish, that you can only get through purchasing in the shop, but you can also use deep space or limited wishes. I don't know if you can use the deep space wishes that are on a time limit. I didn't try it out during Raphael's birthday event, so let me know if you can or if you can't. But I know you can use the regular ones, the ones that don't have a time, or the ones that you exchange for diamonds in the shop. Also, with the rerun banner, if you did pull on it the first time around, whatever your cumulative wishes were, that limited banner, it does carry over to the rerun banner as far as I know, because they've only had one, really. So, also, each one of these banners uses different pity systems. I will talk more about that later, or you can jump around on the timestamps, of course. So Rippling Echo is the newbie banner. This is the one that you'll start off with when you're new to the game. This one is a very good deal. You should definitely be pulling on this one first. So it uses the standard blue wishes, and you get a 20% discount off when you use your 10 pulls. So instead of 10, it will cost you 8 wishes. Also, before you start pulling, make sure you pick your boy, because that is the 5-star that you're going to be rolling on. I think there are 3. Yeah, there are 3 5 stars, and you will get one of those 3. So make sure you have the boy that you want selected. It is capped at 50 pulls, so once you do 50 pulls, that's it. The banner goes away. Technically, this is the pity, but if you do get early pity, the banner doesn't go away. So yeah, I would still pull on it even if you get early pity, because the discount, and you never know, you might get lucky again. Okay, so the selected standard banner is one of those like special banners that Info puts out. I think it's very interesting. So it's kind of like the standard banner, but it's almost like you get to make your own customized rate up banner. So you'll get to pick a number of 5 stars. So in this case, the last time it was 5. I don't know if they might change the number. They could, but you pick 5 stars that you want to pull for, and then that makes up your pool. So it's only those 5 stars plus the regular 4 stars and the 3 stars. So it's kind of personalized. It's good if you are trying to get like the solar memories and you're trying to like get pairs, or you're trying to rank those up. I find that it's good for that. So it uses the standard wishes and it's capped at 350 pulls. So once you do 350 pulls, that's it. And also once you select the 5 stars that you would like, that's it. You can't change it. So make sure you choose wisely. So it's worth pulling on this banner, although it is a separate pity system. So there's that to consider, but I do think that it's worth it if you don't have a lot of the 5 stars from the standard pool. So they did it when Caleb was introduced, so they also added all his 5 stars. So it was a really good way of getting Caleb's 5 stars. At least that's what I found. All right, so we're going to talk about the double banner. So this is a limited rate up banner. So it uses the limited wishes, the yellow wishes. Usually this is for the solar or myth memories because they come together in a pair. So when you get both of them, you unlock the companion that comes with it. So you get combat companion. The 50-50 rule is in effect here. I will go over that later if you would like more information about that. One of the nice things about this banner is there are no back-to-back pulls. That means if you get, let's say you get the first 5-star, when you get to pity again, or when you pull another 5-star, if you win the 50-50, it won't be the same one. You won't get identical ones back to back. You'll get the other one. I don't know what happens after you get the 2 of them. I would assume it's only for the first one, but I don't know for sure. Also, with these, the cumulative rewards at 150 pulls, you will get a crate where you can choose one of the 2 available, which basically guarantees that you will get the pair in at least 150 pulls or less if you're lucky. Why do I say you guarantee it? Because 150 pulls is 2 pities. So if you go through and your first pity, you lose the 50-50, then you're guaranteed on your next to get it. And then if you get up to 150, then you'll get the other one. That is, I guess, worst case scenario. So yeah, it won't take you more than 150 pulls to just get the set. Now, if you want to rank it up, that's different. All right, so multi-banners and precise wish. I know there's a lot of information here. Don't get scared. It's just because multi-banners are huge and they got a lot going on. So we'll go through it. So first, the multi-banners. From what I gather, this is the banners that include all the boys. They used to be 3 when there were only 3 of them. And then when Silas joined, then they were 4. And now with Caleb, now they're 5. It's very possible as they add new boys, this might change, but the precise wish is something that they've added somewhat recently, and I think it's because there are 5 boys. So it's a limited rate up banner, so it does use the limited yellow wishes. And usually the multi banners come with a big event, so there are other things going on. Also, the cumulative rewards for multi-banners are pretty good. They're thematic. Like for tomorrow's Catch 22 here, you could unlock outfits and hairstyles for the boys as you pulled. And then there were growth rewards as well, which are you get resources back as you level the 5 stars. So yeah, multi banners usually come with a lot of stuff going on, and it's probably the most confusing because there's a lot of information coming at you. So one of those things is Precise Wish. So Precise Wish, it really shouldn't be that confusing, but then when you really think about it, it's like, okay, it can get a little bit confusing, and I'll explain why, because I thought about it and I think I know why it gets a little confusing if you really think about it. So the Precise Wish is supposed to be like your failsafe. It's supposed to be if you don't get the boy that you want, then you're guaranteed it, right? So let's walk through the process here and let's make this super easy and super clear about what is going on. So when you start the multi-banner event, you will be asked to pick 3 boys out of the 5. Okay, so you get to pick 3 out of 5, and the rate up for this is increased to 75%. Now, what does that mean exactly? Okay, this is where things get a little confusing. Your probability of getting a 5-star doesn't change. It is the same probability that we went over earlier. What is going up is when you do get a 5-star, the probability that that 5-star is going to be one of the 3 that you selected. So you have a 75% chance to get one of the 3 5-stars that you selected. What is the other 25%? Well, the other 25% is not just one of the other 2 5-stars, but also any of the other 5-stars that are included in the standard wish pool. Okay, so you could get one of those as well if you lose the 75-25. So they give you a little bit of a boost. It's not like a 50-50. And your Precise Wish is when you pull the 5-star, if you do not get your Precise Wish, then you are guaranteed that the next 5-star that you pull. So even though you've picked 3, so in this example, the 3 would be Xavier, Silas, and Caleb. And let's say I pick Silas as my Precise Wish. If I pull Xavier, then Silas will become my Precise Wish. I get 1 wish point, and that means the next one will be Silas. If I pull some other 5-star in the pool, I will also get my wish point for Silas. Now here's the thing. If I pull and I get Silas, then I get no wish point, right? No wish point, no Precise Wish, because I got what I wanted. So I should be happy about that. That means the next time I get a 5-star, I go back into the 75-25 rule there. Now here's the part that I side-eye at. So we're given the odds for everything, most things. Now there's one that is not clear, and that is, what are your chances that out of the 3 that you select, what are the chances of which one that will be? So it's a 75% chance out of the 5-stars that you will get one of the 3 that you select. But out of the one of the 3, there is no information about how that is weighted. Maybe it's weighted equally, so 33, 33, 33. Maybe it's weighted more towards your highest affinity, possibly. I think my theory is that it's weighted 50-50 against the Precise Wish pick. It feels like that. I mean, I could be wrong, of course, but I think it's weighted 50-50 against your Precise Wish, so there is a built-in 50-50 in there. That's what I think. I don't know for sure. That's my speculation. That is my theory. Because if you you can't put your precise wish as something that you don't want because you think that the game isn't going to give it to you. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't rotate through the 3 that you select. So like, let's say I win Xavier, and then I think there's no way that I'm gonna win Xavier again. So I put him in my precise wish, and then I pull, and then I get Xavier again. Yeah, it's a lot. It's just something to think about, and I'm just putting the information out there because it was something that I didn't think I had to think about until I had to. All right, that's all I'm going to talk about for the multi-banner. It's a lot. Okay, so I'm going to briefly talk about the pity. So Love and DeepSpace has a soft pity and a hard pity. Hard pity is 70. So what is pity? Well, pity is just a guarantee that within, for here, 70 pulls, you will get a 5-star. So you're not going to be pulling forever. It's not like if you're pulling a slot machine, you get, I don't know, you could be doing a lot of pulls there before you win anything halfway decent, right? Gacha games have a pity system because they pity you, I guess. They don't want you to give up on the game and be like, this is stupid, and then stop playing. So the soft pity is 10%. So, you know, as you see, the little bunnies here, 0 to 60, you have a 1% chance of pulling a 5-star. Then after 60, so on your 61st pull, you have an additional 10% added to your odds. So 61st pull, you would have 11% chance of getting a 5-star. 62nd pull, you would have a 21% chance. 63rd, a 31% chance, and so on until you get to 70, which it becomes, well, technically it becomes 101%. And then, yay, you can be the happy little bunny because you got your 5-star. So, easy, right? So easy. It's not luck-based at all. It's entirely luck-based. Okay, so the 50-50, let's talk about that, make that super clear. So the 50-50 has to deal with when you are pulling mostly on limited banners, but I guess it applies on selected, anything that you select, anything that's got like a rate up perhaps. So when you pull a 5-star, you have a 50% chance of getting the featured memory of that banner. So if you get the 50% and it goes in your favor, then yay, you win, yay. If you lose, it sucks. But there's a silver lining. If you lose the 50-50 on your next 5-star pull, you are guaranteed the featured memory. Now this carries over to the next banner in the same pity, which is important to note. It does not cross the streams, it does not cross the pities. So in the limited banners, it would carry over to the next limited banner. Like here, the example I had was with the limited banners that just went by. So you have Raphael's birthday, his 5-star limited. If you lost the 50-50 on that, then the next one was Zane's 5-star limited. You would be guaranteed your next 5-star pull to be his. So I was talking about if you lose the 50-50, your next 5-star is guaranteed to be featured. Well, this only applies to if you are in the same pity pool, I guess you can call it. And Love and DeepSpace has separate pity systems here. And it is super frustrating because it's basically like you're spreading yourself thin, right? Your progress is stalled when you switch banners because you're not progressing in the same pity pool. I know that a lot of people talk about it and they like the separate pity. The numbers, the math just doesn't math. So if you're somebody who likes to do math and likes to figure things out, then I'm here to tell you you're not crazy. Now, it is minimal from what I can gather that you probably are spending on average 10 more pulls in a split pity system than if you would be in a shared pity system. But personally, I just think a shared pity system is less stressful because you can properly plan things. And I understand the emotional way of thinking that if the pities are separate, that it feels safer, but it's not actually safer because you are splitting your resources. Like you're splitting them up like into 3 systems here instead of pulling your resources together. It's a little easier to keep track of instead of trying to keep track of what pity you were at in which system, because there isn't a way to check that. As far as I know, I don't think that you can find out until the banner is live on that system. So that can be also a negative to that. All right, I'm gonna leave that here. Here's your nice visual representation. Little Xavier, he's disappointed because he would like to put his little blue star in the blue jar, except the current banner is the yellow star. And he's like, why can't I put my blue star in the blue one? Because it's not the current banner, Xavier. All right, enough of that. So let's talk about other ways of getting memories other than the wish and pity system. So there are a couple of ways. I thought I would briefly mention them just so you kind of have all your options here so you can see all the ways of getting memories. Obviously, I'm not including things like free memories because that's duh, you just claim it. So one way you can buy memories from the wishing well. So every pull that you do, you get 1 stardust, and you can exchange those stardust at the wishing well. It's kind of like cumulative wishes there. You can get a 5-star for 180, so it's like 180 pulls. You get a 5-star of your choosing. They do rotate. It doesn't seem monthly, it seems longer than that. There's no timer about when they rotate, unfortunately. From what I can tell, the rotation is through the standard 5 stars. I don't see the limited ones. So the limited ones, usually, I think those are just going to come back in the rerun banners. So when you've got a lot of memories, what happens when you pull them after you've ranked them up completely? They turn into sand, Heartsand here. So this is the conversion. So 5 stars, you will get 40 Heartsand, the gold sand. For 4 stars, you will get 30 of the purple Heartsand, and 3 stars, you will get 20 of the blue Heartsand. So what can you buy with these? You can buy coins, you can buy wish bottles for leveling up your memories, and you can buy standard wishes. So the other way that you can get memories is through the Galaxy Explorer. It is not a way that I would rely on to get memories because the rates of Galaxy Explorer is so low. It's kind of just something that you do like a daily, but you don't expect much from, because I mean, if you get something cool, but I just wouldn't expect to get like anything from it. So you have 2 flavors here. You got silver and you've got radiant. You use these little magnets. Where you get them from, they come from like dailies and weeklies. You may have noticed them. You can buy them at the chocolate shop. You can also get them when you spend quality time with the boys as well. So what you do is you search for memories and shards. It's on an 8-hour wait time. You can speed this up with these speed up cubes. You get those in the same places as well. Okay, I'm gonna just briefly go over the rates, but I'm telling you, they're pretty bad. So for the silver Galaxy Explorer, You're gonna mostly be getting 3 stars. That's 85% from the gold radiant magnet here. For 10 5-star shards, that is 4.5%. For 20 5-star shards, that is 0.4%. And if you think you're going to be getting a 5-star, well, you have a 0.1% chance. If you pull a straight up 5-star from the Radiant Galaxy Explorer, you should go buy a real lottery ticket because the odds of that happening are crazy low. Alright, so that's it for all of the explanations. I think that is everything. I think we've covered everything. So I'm gonna end this here with some strategies that help me stay sane while I'm pulling in the Love and DeepSpace banners. So some things that I do that help me is, so it says on the button, on the banner, that if you pull 10 pulls, you are guaranteed a 4-star. It is a little bit misleading because you do not have to pull 10 pulls to get your 4-star. It is within 10 pulls. So you can pull 10 singles and still get a 4-star or better. It says or better. So you can pull 10 and get a 5-star instead of a 4-star. I'm just saying that if you think that you need to pull 10 pulls in order to get a guaranteed 4-star, that is not true. So if you're like saving and you're like, I don't want to do single pulls because I won't get a 4-star, it doesn't work like that. It's within 10 pulls. And when you get that 4-star, it resets. It's like a mini pity. It's like a 4-star pity. So that's just something to keep in mind. That's just how I pull. So sometimes I will pull singles if I'm like desperate and I don't want to wait for a full 10 pull. Also, I save my diamonds. I mean, duh, right? But what I mean by that is I try to keep in mind that for a full 70 pity pull, it will cost 10,500 diamonds. I know that's a lot of cheese, that's a lot of diamonds, right? But at least it's kind of a safety net. If I can save that many diamonds, then I know that I'm guaranteed to reach pity. It doesn't mean I'm going to get what I want, but it does have a kind of bit of a safety net there for myself, you know, mentally keep my sanity. So I try to farm diamonds as much as I can, which I feel most people do. How I do that is obviously dailies and weeklies. I try to do my deep space trials as far as I can without losing my mind. I do my abyssal chaos. I make sure that I get to cap on that and get all the diamonds that I can there. I do hunter contest as well because that's something that kind of rotates, so you can get diamonds not frequently, but it's not like a one-time thing. Obviously, you can get diamonds from other things like memories, like doing the stories and things like that. I don't farm diamonds for those because it seems like really small. But I mean, if I'm desperate, I guess I can do that. Also, achievements. Go through your achievements and see what easy achievements you can do. Like if it's something like I gotta just take 5 more photos to get like 50 diamonds, yeah, go do it. But sometimes you don't know. So I look through my achievements to see if there's anything that's doable. Also, during events, if they have growth rewards, I make sure that I do those because you will save on resources. You get resources back by doing them during the event. Now, sometimes it gets a bit tricky because it's like if I'm trying to pull for something in the event and I'm not getting it, I'm not getting the 5-star that I want. Obviously, I can't level it up if I don't have it and like time is running out and stuff. So sometimes on the last day or the day before the last day, I'm like scrambling to level up my 5 stars to get the growth rewards. But to me, even if I deplete some of my resources, it's worth it because you do get a good chunk of it back. So even though it feels like, oh my gosh, I'm using a lot of resources to level up this 5-star, it's going to be a while till there's like another event that's going to have those growth bonuses, and I need to take advantage of it at that time so I can get my resources back. So it's not going to be nothing. It'll be worth it. Speaking of like things like that, keep track of pull incentives, and what I mean by that is cumulative rewards. So sometimes like I don't even realize that I'm really close to getting like 5 free wishes, 10 free wishes. So make sure like to check like where you're at in the cumulative wishes, because when I'm calculating and trying to figure out and I'm like, oh, I don't have enough wishes. Oh, if only I had more. And then I look, I'm like, oh wait, I'm like 2 wishes away from getting 5 free. It's like maybe I should see if I can get some diamonds and get those 2 pulls to get that. Also, if I'm close to a crate, crates are amazing because you get to pick exactly what you want in that crate. They also don't expire, which is something to keep in mind too. So once you get the crate, you can kind of hold on to it if you aren't sure what you want. Now, again, with the growth rewards, if the event has a growth reward, don't hold on to your crate forever. Make sure you do open it and get the growth rewards from leveling the 5-star. I know it's like duh, but I mean, sometimes things like that, you know, slip your mind and all that. And the other thing that I do that helps me is I try to avoid, it says, emotional pulls. What I mean by that is I try not to pull impulsively. I try not to pull when maybe I'm upset about something and I'm trying to get like some like, you know, happiness from it. I try not to rely on gacha for that because I don't think it's healthy. At least for me, I don't think it's healthy for me to try to be like, oh, you know, I'm feeling like shit today. Maybe I'll do some gacha pulls and maybe I'll get lucky. Because, you know, when I don't get lucky, then it feels even more like shit. I mean, I've been guilty of doing that and actually have got what I wanted. And yeah, it felt amazing, but I don't think that it's healthy for me to do that. I think I have other outlets that I can do that can make me feel better, that isn't going to be so much of a gamble, you know? Also, I think that being too invested sometimes in the pulls can be really bad for me. If it's like, oh, I need this, I need to get this. If I don't get this, I'm gonna be super upset. It's like, sometimes I need a bit of a reality check for myself and be like, okay, Alice, if you don't get this Xavier 5-star, is it really going to be that bad? Is it really going to be the end of the world? So it's like I gotta kind of like check myself a little bit sometimes when I'm pulling and try not to pull so emotional. I mean, you can pull for what you want and you should, but from a healthy level. And I think the best way to play gacha games is to focus on what makes you happy, because you're the one that's playing the game, right? All these examples here of all these pictures are all things that like I found that have made me happy, that I pulled for these banners and stuff. Like the day that I opened the game and this is what showed up. Caleb just showed up and was like, hey, what are you planning today? I'm like, sir, what do you mean what is on my mind? What is on your mind with this fit here? Or just like Xavier just looking all cute, or Raphael is just sitting and pretending to be reading a magazine when I fully know he's not. He hasn't like turned the page probably for like 5 minutes, but he's just sitting there in his BDSM gear like it's the most casual thing ever. I find these things hilarious and it makes me smile, and I think that's the point of the game. So few things that I keep in mind for myself is that, you know, you don't need everything in the game. There are some things that I think that I need, but I don't actually need them. I think that it's very easy to be like, I want everything. Of course, we want everything, but it's not possible to get everything. So when I accept that I can't get everything that I want, it does make it easier for me. Again, I pull for what makes me happy. Like seeing them in their silly outfits makes me happy because it's just silly. It's okay to not pull on every single banner. I don't pull on every single banner, even though I play the game regularly. I skip a lot of banners and that's fine. I mean, of course it's fine, but I know like sometimes it feels like I'm playing the game wrong, I guess, if I'm not participating or pulling on every banner. And that's not always the case, right? And yes, buyer's remorse is a bitch. This is what I mean by like play your way. If there is something that you really want and it's going to make you happy, then, you know, go for it. Don't let like other opinions or outside factors that, I mean, you can't control everything, but try not to let affect your choices. You know, play for you. You're the one that's playing the game. You're the one that's making the polls. So like if you're lukewarm on something, then maybe don't pull for it. And if it's something that you feel like you're going to regret if you don't try, then maybe try to find a way, if you can, if it's within your ability to get whatever that is. I mean, I know luck isn't always on your side and resources can be an issue. I don't want to spend money because I'm a really cheap gamer. I don't like to spend money if I don't have to. But then I'm like, if it's going to make me happy, then maybe I can spend a little. But then I'm not going to spend on like the next like whatever couple banners or the next couple months or something or whatever it is. So that's how like I justify it in my mind. All right, so that's where I'm going to leave this here for today. So thank you for watching. I hope that you found this useful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will try my best to answer. I think I've covered everything, but yeah, there could be updates, of course, and things can change. But to the best of my knowledge, this should be accurate, hopefully. So please like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed this. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Good luck with your pulls, and I will be posting more Love and DeepSpace content, things like events and reactions and playthroughs and things like that. So if you're interested in being updated on that, hit the notification bell. And until then, I will talk to you later. Bye.